Is the evening edition's top 5 at 5. Caroline and Ezra here. Moving on to our second story of the day. President-elect Donald Trump unveiled plans just this morning for his first 100 days in office, and this includes proposals related to immigration, trade deals, and defense policy using a YouTube video, no less. I mean, who needs press conferences nowadays? But it was published online, essentially to briefly outline his proposals.
I mean, considering the fact that he is the oldest individual, or will be the oldest president elected in the U.S. in the U.S. history. I mean, he's down with the social media, is he not?
I don't know how comfortable that makes me feel, but sure.
He plays it like Slash on guitar. Did you like that?
Yes.
It's weird. It's weird. Okay, so according to President-elect Trump's online announcement, his agenda was built around a simple core principle: putting America first. And his transition team has been given the task of developing a list of executive actions that can be taken on day one of his presidency.
On trade, I am going to issue our notification of intent to withdraw from the Trans-Pacific Partnership, a potential disaster for our country. Instead, we will negotiate fair bilateral trade deals that bring jobs and industry back onto American shores. On energy, I will cancel job-killing restrictions on the production of American energy, creating many millions of high-paying jobs. On regulation, I will formulate a rule which says that for every one new regulation, 2 old regulations must be eliminated. On national security, I will ask the Department of Defense and the chairman of the Joint Chiefs of Staff to develop a comprehensive plan to protect America's vital infrastructure from cyber attacks and all other form of attacks. On immigration, I will direct the Department of Labor to investigate all abuses of visa programs that undercut the American worker. On ethics reform, we will impose a 5-year ban on executive officials becoming lobbyists after they leave the administration, and a lifetime ban on executive officials lobbying on behalf of a foreign government.
That was U.S. President-elect Donald Trump on the executive actions that will be put in place as soon as he's sworn in. One of the things that we just heard, of course, was with regards to the TPP deal, and he goes on to say that he'll be replacing it with negotiating, quote, fair bilateral trade deals. And this is something that he's raised on the campaign trail, and it's something that he's very, very determined to make sure it doesn't go through.
Yeah, it's one of the promises that he's apparently going to be seeing through. So as for what this announcement actually means for us here in Malaysia, we got a comment from Firdaos Rosli, who's a fellow in economics at ISIS, that's the Institute of Strategic and International Studies.
Based on what Trump said this morning, it seems to me that his statement is going to bring all 11 countries, i.e. TPP countries minus the US, back to the drawing board. We don't know how this thing is going to pan out yet, as right now the only country who has started the ratification process is probably Japan. Others are also ready to go ahead with the ratification process, but because of the US presidential election, then a lot of things are being put to a hold. So right now, we don't know who's going to take the lead. It will definitely not be a TPP that we currently understand. It will probably be very different. You know, Trump has said that he would like to negotiate bilaterally, but it is not entirely clear to me, at least, on which country is going ahead with the negotiation, because you can't negotiate directly with 11 countries altogether. That would probably mean that he has to choose, or rather prioritize, which country that he will negotiate first. As far as Malaysia is concerned, we need the TPP because we need to engage with countries that we don't have FTAs with, i.e. Canada, Mexico, Peru, and most importantly, the US. Because the US has always been our traditional trading partner and investor, and without having any form of formal engagement with the US, means that our economic relationship is not going to be as robust as what it was once before. Many of our domestic economic reforms are not being able to push from bottom up. You know, we had economic transformation program, national transformation program and all that, but we also need an external pressure to ensure that many of these things will have to conform to the global standards. The government would probably have to wait a little longer to know what the temperature is like as far as the TPP is concerned, and how each government will push forward with the trade deal without the TPP. I think without having that clear in mind, it's going to be very difficult for us to make an educated guess on this subject.
That was Firdaos Rosli from ISIS, Institute of Strategic and International Studies. He's also the project director of the National Interest Analysis of Malaysia's participation in the TPP study.
Yep, so that election causing ripples all the way. And you know what? Speaking of ripples, I took a look at the @Transition 2017 handle, looking at Twitter, seeing what's going on. Whole lot of mixed emotions and reactions to what he announced. And I mean, that's very much in line with the rest of his campaign. There are a lot of mixed reactions. So, you know, you have you're doing an amazing job and an inspiring update all the way down to please, you know, stop that clown from moving into the White House and please delete your bleep account.
Right.
It feels as though there are a lot more Trump supporters coming out of the woodwork.
Absolutely. Folks, we've got more stories coming up. After this, we take a look at the findings of the AG Report 2015. Don't go anywhere. It's the Evening Edition, BFM 89.9.